positions. 11, they should be treated as such. The Bears are back, baby!
Hello and welcome back to the i75Live podcast. Don't forget, before we start today's episode, leave a like, follow, subscribe for all of our stuff, long version content on Spotify and YouTube, and all of our short clips on TikTok, Instagram, all that good stuff.
Sure.
Big week in sports. We talked about the challenging course of what the golf tournament was going to be for the U.S. Open.
They were almost right.
They were. I mean, I'd say they are right, and I've got a whole kind of opinion on that to whether or not it should be like that or not. We'll get into that. We've also got some trade stuff in baseball. The trade deadline is also coming up to maybe some stuff that could be possibly happening.
MLB is the one sport where I think every year the trade deadline is interesting.
Yes.
There's at least a few players that switch to a contender from a shit team or honestly a great team to another great team. It's so much fun. MLB might have the best trade deadline, which because how long the season is, how much one player can affect baseball in general.
Yeah.
I'm excited. And like we said, there's already a huge one that we'll get into later.
Shohei Ohtani, Jake made a really funny comment on this of coming back for one inning to pitch. He made a really good point, though. I'm going to bring that up. That will be fun to talk about. Of course, Chris is fourth and long. It's been a popular subject. And then on our series that we started last week, the AFC South breakdown is this week. But to kick things off, let's go straight into the U.S. Open. JJ Spawn wins, nails a 64 putt to win to put him under par.
One under par.
Literally the only golfer to finish under par on the weekend. So I guess you can kind of say I was right because I said, no, there's no way the winner doesn't finish under par. I was really, really close. I guessed it was going to be around 5 or 6.
It took the longest putt of the weekend for you not to be
64 feet.
No, I mean it was close because there were a couple guys who were like 4 or 5 on like Saturday, Friday.
I hope you know.
Good.
I had that text ready to send the second
I know
he
you
missed
did.
that putt. I was like, "Hey, Dawson."
I know you did.
Yeah, but he made it.
He did.
64 feet.
And the 64 feet is
he had a nice look at that putt though too.
He did.
He did get some help.
He got gifted a line from
that was an amazing.
I think it was before him.
I think it was Hovland. Hovland
who also played.
His ball was like a foot.
Yeah, like right behind it, so he was able to see it pretty well.
I love it.
It was so. Yeah, I mean.
There was a little bit of rain, made the course honestly a little bit easier.
Sam Burns
easier.
Well, I would say it made the greens easier because with anything you can pin seek with when the greens are wet because you can really land it where you want. The rough and everything else like that did not help with the rain because of how hard it was to hit out of the rough in general. Add water, add everything. It's
and
just
how about
it was
the
a
guy
mess.
that got screwed?
Yeah, Sam Burns got screwed to where he tried 2 times to get a rule official over.
He got screwed.
I saw.
And
standing water.
Yeah, well, and then literally after he hit the ball, people were like going up to the spot where he hit the ball.
I saw that video too.
And it was literally like he was hitting in a puddle.
You were stepping on it. It was the water was coming through the earth.
So that was really unfortunate for him because he
was playing really good. He was in second when that happened, right? Am I wrong in that?
He was up there, had a couple bad shots, ended up in that, and then it just kind of
in golf.
unspiraled
That's
from
enough,
there.
though. That's enough to set you off.
Oh, absolutely.
I've never
Especially
seen so
at
many
a
guys
course
lose
like
their
that.
temper, throw clubs.
Oh man, Rory's meltdown all weekend. I think. Not Hovland, but
hold on though. Did you see what Rory said to the press?
Yeah,
where he was like, "I honestly don't care.
Yep.
If I didn't play this weekend, I wasn't mad. Literally, what I said to where at this point, after what he did at the Masters, I don't think he truly gives a fuck.
My question is like, why is he still playing? Does he just like winning money? Probably, I guess, but he's just like
maybe like a victory tour, like a victory lap.
Oh, guys, come on! He's not done playing.
No, he's gonna play for a long time.
Seriously.
I think he's gonna play for a couple more years.
Is he just gonna throw this excuse every time he plays like shit? Like,
Probably.
oh, don't care. I won the Masters. Blah blah blah. I don't care anymore.
But at the same time, though, he's kind of he's earned that a little bit.
He's earned it, but like, shut up. Like,
I agree. There's a reason why I've always said he's a whiny little bitch at times. Where it was awesome to see him win the Masters, and it was a great moment. But it just seems like everything else is just a whiny.
Don't tell me that you didn't give a shit. You threw temper tantrums all weekend because you were playing bad. So don't give the media this, I don't care, nonchalant. I accomplished everything I want to do, and then turn around and throw your clubs back at yourself.
That's fair.
Justification.
You can't have it. You can't have it both ways, Rory. You can't.
That's fair. I will give you that. I will say though, I said this after the tournament was over to Vanny and to Jack and to you. I think it holds a lot of truth. I know how people can say, well, obviously, I know the answer, what people will say to it, but I truly don't understand why I think the vast majority of people who tune into golf tournaments like to see these guys fail.
Yep.
So you can immediately point your finger and go, see, they're one of us.
See, it is a hard sport.
It is a hard sport.
I'm bad because the sport's hard.
So, and I don't get it because we don't see that in any other sport.
You really don't.
You don't watch a football game. Now, yes, I don't like that team. I think that's different.
Yeah. Oh, well,
to want a team to lose. But I never watch a football game and go, I hope Mahomes
overthrows
throws ducks. I hope he just forgets how to do everything and it's a terrible game.
When Justin Jefferson misses a ball, drops a ball, you're not looking at the screen going, see? He is human.
Yeah, and now I will say, I'm sure everyone's been there. I could have done that. Are you kidding me? How do you drop that? I think that's different. It's just golf is the one sport
you routinely hope for players to look average. You really do.
It's just weird obsession with trying to justify to yourself that because this is the one game that you can go out and play with your buddies on the weekend. That's like a professional game. That you're trying to justify that these pro athletes are just like you because they make one bad shot every 1,000 shots while you make one bad shot every other shot.
I think most people, well, this weekend specifically when it was, raining and I think it's more relatable when you can see stuff like that. And golf is the only sport that's relatable really at the professional level to people that play it averagely. And that probably feeds into it. And I think it also goes into the fact that golf is a purely individual sport, unless you make it, a team sport with scrambles and stuff. But it is purely individual. And so, it takes away the team element of it. And I think it just, with other sports, it's kind of you kind of brought it up when we were talking about it with Scheffler, winning every time. With team sports, you kind of, if your team isn't the one winning, you want different teams to win every time. And so for a weekend like this, to see someone like JJ Spawn win and all of the best guys kind of not playing their best, I loved it. I loved it because that's what I look for in other sports. I don't want blowouts. I want close games with some people that honestly shouldn't have been there in other scenarios. But they pulled it off in this scenario and they ended up winning.
So I'm gonna
kind of with the Pacers.
Wait a minute though. I gotta disagree just for a second with Dylan with what you just said because it was cool to see JJ Spawn win, but not because other people lost. Okay, his story, amazing story. The guy deserved it. Yeah. He was so close earlier in the season.
Yeah,
so that was cool. But I think you guys nailed it. Listen, Dawson, we talked about this. I think the biggest reason that the average fan hopes for someone to do crappy is really just that. This is the only sport. I can't go out and play professional football.
No.
I can't go stand behind and take a pitch from Ohtani,
you
right?
You can't
you can't go do these
not
things.
even that, but you can't even touch the field. You can go on some of these courses that these golfers play at.
That's right. You can play with the same equipment.
Yeah.
So it's just completely different. The perspective.
I'm not saying that you're happy that the other golfers played like shit. I'm saying it's a breath of fresh air, kind of like in other sports when the Pacers make the NBA Finals over a team like the Celtics.
Yes.
I loved this storyline.
Yes.
And I'm glad it happened. I wouldn't have had it any other way for this weekend because of JJ Spawn's storyline. He's finished second in a few
my
tournaments,
argument to that is I'm completely game for that.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to I'm mad that this guy won. No, heck no. He was able to outlast the rest of the field with what he was given. Yep. And it was very challenging. So I'm not against having challenging courses and all that either, because I know that's kind of where my words were being taken when we were talking about it, where that wasn't my point. My point is I just think it's really weird, the obsession that only golf seems to have, that we are just so quick to want to see these pro athletes fail so we can try to justify to ourselves that they're just like us.
See,
when we don't do that in any other sport.
I wouldn't have hit that shot either. I can understand.
Like,
I mean, but it is kind of fun to see him duff like a little short chip.
Of course it is.
And they hit it, it goes 3 feet, and it's still off the green.
For some weird reason, people just like, it's just weird to me.
It makes me feel better about my own game.
And you can't do that. And I understand the argument of you can't do that in any other sport.
Oh, I said it while we were filming last episode that I was excited for this weekend because I was ready to see some golfers look like me. And it happened. I actually got to see some of that.
But the thing is, though, is I think when you say it, though, you're genuinely just like, you're not doing it in the way that I think a lot of other people are doing
I'm doing it.
You're doing it out of fun. You're doing it just kind of probably just being a joke, whatever.
Yep.
I think most people seriously are trying to justify because they want to like make it relatable to them when it's just like, no you're not.
The reality is too, on any given day, I mean, let's get real. These guys could go out and make us look like complete buffoons on a golf course.
They could use
on
a putter.
Any given day.
They could use a putter for every shot, and they could probably.
They could go out with a 7-iron and kick our ass.
You give Scotty Scheffler a 7-iron for a hole 18, and you have your whole bag. He would beat you by 15, 20, 30 strokes, guaranteed.
On the front 9.
On the front 9,
yeah,
that's crazy.
Guaranteed.
Yeah.
So that's my whole argument to that. I don't want to get it. I know when we were talking about it, like I said, it was very taken out of, and probably because it was a text messages and it's hard to sometimes read in between the lines of text messages. I'm not saying that it's that I hated the hard courses, and I don't think it should be, because I don't want to watch a tournament where they're minus 30. They're 30 under par. That's stupid.
What was it? The CJ Cup? Whatever.
Yes,
it was.
where Scheffler was like
minus 24 or something.
Yeah, that's
like that.
Stupid. And that's why I like the Masters, because the Masters is the perfect amount of challenging, has to make you think, but you still get to see some really good golf. Where this weekend, it just felt like it was whoever didn't suck the most.
I'm excited for like Pebble Beach whenever that comes back up.
I almost said something really
close. I heard you. But yeah, I'm like excited for like the Pebble Beaches and like the seagrass or sawgrass, all of those courses like on the coast that have all the cool shots.
And you see great like, you know, they're 10 under, 11 under. That's good golf.
In a hard course.
Yeah. Although it would be fun to go to Cobblestone and watch one of these guys shoot like 8 under par, a course that we play.
It'd be insane.
It'd be fun to see like how they would play those same holes that we've really played.
Yeah.
Because you don't get to go onto the Masters and play Augusta, right? You don't get to go to Oakmont and play that course.
Nah.
That's just,
I mean, if you're a content creator, if you're
Pinehurst is open, right?
Most of these courses are open to the public.
Well, all U.S. Open courses are. Yes. That's part of it. Although that doesn't mean that it's you go pay $45 and play around.
No, it's like 300, 400, 500.
Yeah,
and you get your own caddy, but it's So MLB, we mentioned it. Devers gets traded to the Giants.
I just love his opening statement with the Giants. We haven't really touched on this much. I feel like we've brought it up maybe once about the whole Devers situation, where they apparently came into the year telling him that he was going to be DH because they had just signed Alex Bregman to a massive contract. Bregman is a Gold Glove third baseman, incredible player. And so it makes sense that he would be DH. But then they started trying to kind of ask him to play first a little bit, learn first. And he was like, no. He just said no. That was plain and simple, no. And then, he starts talking to the media about it and how, they told him, that's how we even know about this, that they told him to pretty much put his glove away once Bregman was signed at third base. And then all of a sudden they switch up because I think they had a first baseman get hurt. And they
also had Bregman get hurt as well.
Bregman got hurt too. Games. And they asked him to go back to third. Yeah. Guess what he said?
No.
I DH. And then he gets to the Giants. What's the first words out of his mouth? Maybe not the first words, but damn near the first words is, I will play wherever they need me.
Yeah.
Well, that's what money does.
I think it's a sign that
not even money. I think he just was sick of Boston.
Yeah, he just didn't want to be there anymore. And that's probably why he got traded. It is funny. I think it's even funnier because he really doesn't speak English. So he says stuff and then his translator has to say it for him. And so that whole thing is, Devers is a great,
wherever they need me.
He's Yeah, I mean, he's been
He's a
raking.
top 10 hitter in baseball.
Yeah, I mean, I know he went
Really
like
good.
0 for 15 to start the year or something. Everyone was
had
making
their
fun of him.
Yeah.
But
and now he's damn near, I think, leading the league in RBIs.
Yeah, since then, he's been doing nothing but hit the ball.
His first hit for the Giants was a double,
and
an RBI double.
The Giants are another team that I think are playing really good this year, who one player away, like we kind of say, you never know what a guy with that type of pop can bring to a team.
So I saw this stat because when we talked about Paul Skeens and how like he wasn't getting the offense to back him up, the other guy in that conversation is Logan Webb for the Giants and doesn't get any run support, one of the best pitchers in baseball. You don't hear about him really outside of maybe like Cy Young rankings, but he's not being nationally covered because the Giants offense hasn't been shit for the most part every time he pitches. He doesn't have the wins. He's got the ERA. I mean, I guarantee you, look up his stats.
Oh, yeah.
He's probably top 10 in damn near everything.
He's very good.
And now that they have Devers, I mean, he's already showing you that, I mean, he's doing what you brought him in to do.
Yeah, I mean, what, his first at bat,
RBI double.
He had an RBI double. So
right into the gap.
I think, and I know there were a lot of rumors of other teams. I believe the Giants were the only team that were willing to take on his
full contract.
I
mean, it's a massive contract.
It's a massive contract because I heard stuff of the Braves were offered, and wanted.
Where would he? You've got Olsen.
We would have traded.
Got Austin Riley.
We would have given him Ozuna.
Oh, Ozuna.
And he would have DH.
Yeah. Okay.
That would have been part of the package, I think.
I think it would have been a smart move, personally.
I do too. I guarantee you, though, it was the contract that scared.
Well, that's what you have to do. The Dodgers aren't scared of that contract, and that's honestly probably the mindset that the Giants brought into this. They play in the NL West with the Dodgers. Yeah. So you have to have that same mentality if you're going to beat them.
Yeah.
And, I mean, honestly, switching to the Dodgers, which is, I mean, the next news, Shohei Ohtani just randomly decides that he's going to be pitching again. I know he's been ramping up.
So this is what's funny with Jake. Jake came to me and he was like,
"Oh no,"
because he was like, "Did you see that Shohei pitched?" I was like, "Yeah, he only pitched 1 inning." And Jake goes, "Well, I was thinking about it. What, they're gonna send Shohei to a rehab assignment?" Like you haven't pitched in a year or however long it's been, and you're gonna look at Shohei and go, "Hey Shohei,
go to Montgomery,
go to
AAA." Like, Shohei would laugh in your face. So to me, this is, I think, what we're going to see.
What do you mean I have to go play in Utah for
his rehab is going to be like real games, a couple innings, so he doesn't, and then
that's the luxury of being the LA Dodgers,
and it's also the luxury of being Shohei. But could you imagine though if they looked? This is what Jake said. He's like, "What are they going to do? Send Shohei to fucking AAA for a rehab assignment?" So that was really funny. I mean, to where they're not.
My prediction, honestly, is that this was forced. I don't think he's ready to pitch. Yeah, that's probably a rehab assignment, but I think they go hand in hand. Honestly, yeah, probably a rehab start, and we're going to see a lot of these for like the next few weeks. But I think this came to fruition because half of the Dodgers pitching staff is injured. I think half of their starting staff is gone. I think they just shut down Sasaki Roki, the new guy that they brought in I think he's shut down from throwing. He might have Tommy John. So there's that. Yamamoto's hurt. I mean, Glasnow's hurt again. So it's like you kind of need someone.
Well, and I was an advocate for, if I was the Dodgers, Shohei, if you don't want to pitch, fine. You do well enough in hitting the ball in the lineup.
Won MVP last year.
I mean, he's going to win MVP again this year, hands down. So to me,
I don't know, Pete Crow Armstrong. I know I'm not a Cubs fan, but dude, he's leading the MLB in like every stat.
I don't care what he's leading. Shohei is
not pitching yet. Right now they can be compared, 1A, 1B right now because Shohei's not pitching. The whole argument with him is that you can't really compare when he's pitching, but offensively, I can't believe I'm saying this as a White Sox fan. Pete Crow Armstrong is beating him in like every stat.
I hear you. But
it doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter.
Just like the Braves aren't going to get any All-Stars because they suck this year.
I think Acuna will be. Acuna and Chris Sale will be
No
All-Star.
way. He's so far down.
Oh, Chris Sale will be an All-Star.
It's not happening.
I think Acuna will be. He's playing like an MVP ever since he came back. It's happened before where a player's injured for most of the start of the year, but he makes it in anyways because he just tears it up.
Acuna will be in the All-Star game with Chris Sale.
He may not be a starter.
I think if anything, we get Schwellenbach, Chris Sale, and Acuna. Those are the three that I think we get in.
That's okay. You can think that.
That's fine.
That's coming up soon. That's like in like 2 weeks, 2-3 weeks.
Yeah, it's kind of, I don't know exactly when, but Shohei, I thought it was really funny what Jake said. They're not going to send him to AAA. And when he said that, I busted out laughing.
Maybe he wasn't supposed to actually pitch, and he didn't understand his new interpreter. And his new interpreter said, "Go out to something."
Utah.
Went out to the mountain.
You're like, okay.
If I were the Dodgers and I didn't have all the pitching issues that they do have, you make a good point. That's probably why he is kind of being.
They probably came to me like, "Hey, man,
we kind of need you a little bit.
This is kind of getting out of hand."
Yeah. If they didn't have all those issues, I seriously don't think he steps on that mound.
That's honestly, I think that's why they have such a loaded bullpen or loaded pitching staff in general. So he could wait.
Yeah,
loaded team.
That was the plan. That was the idea, the vision they had. But then.
This is an imperfect world.
Injuries happen. Chris's 4th and long. It is time. This has been very fun to do because we have no idea what he is going to say. It's listed. We give him the free reins to say whatever we want so we can get raw reactions. But yes, Chris's 4th and long. What do you got for us this week?
Okay, guys. So if you want to get mad at me, like you said, you don't know these questions, and I know I keep talking about her, but I can't help myself. I got to start with this. The greatest 38 seconds in WNBA history
Caitlin Clark going
this
back
weekend,
to back
right? Caitlin Clark comes back after injury. Everybody's talking about it. She made 3 huge 3-pointers in 38 seconds. Highest rated, most watched WNBA game in history. Even turned on the game. I turned on the game to watch it.
That's crazy.
And literally Anna was like, my wife was like, "What are you doing?" Your mom was like, "Seriously?"
History.
But here's my question. So, I turned on the game to watch it. Are you guys going to watch her next game when it's on TV? Are you punting or going for it? This is crazy what this girl's doing.
Go for it.
I think... Yeah, if she...
That's the most watched game in NBA,
the
WNBA
most
history.
watched game. That's what Dawson told me. Dawson, is that true?
Yeah, it was
the highest rated, most watched game ever.
I don't know if that's impressive. I think that's kind of...
Look, it doesn't surprise me. She was gone for 2 weeks. The ratings, the ticket sales, they all plummeted.
She did not disappoint.
First game back, it's that... Again, I'll say it. I'm a broken record. She's the face of it. She runs it. But it's, if she's on TV...
players still try to beat the shit out of her.
Yeah, I'm sure everyone saw what happened last night. It's unbelievable. But I will say, she stands on business.
They finally have people around her that will stand on business with her.
Even Kaylin being like, I can do whatever the fuck I want to do. You can't stop me. So that's cool. But it also goes to my argument last week where I said, try to make organic competitive rivalries with her.
I'm telling you,
now,
the WNBA...
do I think they did that last night?
No.
Heck no. They did it in the way that... Yes.
Everyone else has been doing it. I don't think they haven't played yet, but Caitlin Clark versus Paige Beckers needs to be the heavyweight match that it can be. That is the only way that you do this, because Beckers is... there are a ton of great talents, but I think Beckers is the only one that can be as captivating as Caitlin Clark. I think... match them up against each other in a finals, I think honestly a lot of the world might start watching. So there's a way.
It does not surprise me.
Going for it.
I'll have the popcorn ready. You guys are coming over. We're going to watch the game.
Yep.
So here we go. So the Braves actually beat the Mets last night here in Atlanta.
Walked it off.
The Braves, they walked it off in the 10th. They are still 7 games under 500. They're 6.5 games back out of the wild card race. Is it time to call it a season and trade Ozuna? He's 34 years old. He's a free agent after this season. He's had that nagging hip injury. Trade him now for the future or risk losing him to free agency. Punting or going.
So this is the last year of his deal, right?
Before we even give our opinion, it doesn't matter. Alex Antropoulos, our GM, already said they're not selling. Really? So that stumps your whole question to where...
So punt. We have to punt.
Well, but that's posture too. They're going to say that.
You're right.
True. But what happens if they go on another big losing streak before the All-Star break?
Yeah, and that's a good point. I'm just saying that the GM of the team, who has notoriously been pretty accurate with saying the truth of what he does with his team, I don't see it happening just based off that. I mean, they're the Braves. To me, I think their egos are maybe a little big to where they're going, no, we're the Braves. We're always in this, because they have kind of proven the past couple years that they are always in this, even when they're down.
It's how you finish.
So I truly think, as much as it sounds, now if someone comes to the table and offers a lot for Chris Sale, that'd be really hard not to give that up just because of Chris Sale's age.
He's almost 40.
And what we talked about last year, and doing this 2 seasons in a row.
Yeah.
It's going to fall off here. So to get value for him, that'd be hard to say no to. I just don't see it.
I can't believe that you're not even shopping though. Like,
I'm sure everyone is, because the whole thing with Devers, they were involved in some talks of, so they all are.
Wonder if they would have sent Sale back to the Red Sox for that.
Yeah, I mean, maybe it was on the table. You never know. It's just,
I mean, the pitchers is what the Red Sox got back, so
they did. They got 2 pitchers out of what's it called, farm system.
Yep. One of them was started.
I'm gonna say no, just because of what they have said comment-wise, and maybe the ego that the Braves have when it comes to them not being out of it.
It won't let them, even though you are.
That's all I'll say about that.
That's okay.
Division.
I think the Braves are out of it personally. I don't think it matters what happens that they do before
Mets
the break.
and the Phillies are just.
I'm sorry to say that.
So
I think for the
good.
first time in my life, I just think the Braves are out of it. So we'll see. Time will
Mets,
tell.
Phillies, Cubs, Padres, Dodgers, Giants. There are so many teams.
Well, we're not
in
even
the
fighting.
National League.
I mean, we're fighting more than just our division at this point.
Exactly.
We're fighting all the other great teams.
The wild
that are
card
having,
teams.
Yeah.
You are not. This is the NL looks really good. Really good. It's not just like 3 teams anymore.
Yep. Okay, here's one. So listen, last weekend we went and saw Mission Impossible. We walked out of the theater. I looked at Dawson and Jake. We talked about the first Mission Impossible I saw when I was just a couple years older than them, back in 96.
Back in the 90s.
When you think about Tom Cruise and how big of a movie star he is and the blockbusters that he's had over the years, what he drives to the box office, is there a bigger star than Tom Cruise? Is there ever going to be a bigger star than Tom Cruise in the future? 13 billion in box office sales. Are you punting or are you going for it?
I would say Tom Cruise biggest star. I'm sure there's always going to be a bigger fish. I will say though, I think Tom Cruise.
There's never going to be another one that does all of his own stunts.
Yeah, that.
That's for damn
I also
sure.
think he's one of the last ones who truly, I think, cares about movies and filmmaking and the craft of what it takes to make movies.
Well, he's going to be a director for the next like 30 years, in my opinion. Once he's not able to act anymore, he'll be a director. And so I think.
Well, he kind of already does that too.
Yeah. Well, but I think he'll be
producer.
Yeah.
He's got a lot of money in the industry.
I think he's going to be like Clint Eastwood. Honestly, I think that's the path he kind of takes, and Clint Eastwood's still directing it in 95. He just released another movie, and he's making another one. So yeah, I'm keeping Tom Cruise around. I don't think, I mean, there will be others. I think they're currently trying to make Pedro Pascal the next big thing, which, I mean, it's kind of working.
Me and Jake looked up, because, you can look up all the movies that they're like, and his lineup was insane. It was like Star Wars, Mandalorian, Avengers, Fantastic Four, Avengers Doomsday, and it was just like boom, 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 like holy, like you've got, say what you want about Star Wars and Marvel and all that. I mean, that's millions and millions and millions of dollars tied into all that. So, but to answer your question, I think Tom Cruise is one of the last ones truly that was in Hollywood that really cares about the craft and what it takes to make a good quality movie.
And what a movie too.
It was a very good movie.
It was good.
I also, how he asked us the question, he's like, if you were at the box office right now in either How to Train Your Dragons or Mission Impossible.
Change your mind now?
I changed my mind when I walked out of the theater.
Good man.
That Mission Impossible was really good.
Well, when you like you just mentioned though too, some of the people and some of the money that they brought into the box office. Speaking of Marvel, right up there on top of the list, Samuel L. Jackson, Robert Downey Jr., Chris Pratt, Chris Hemsworth, Chris Evans, like all those guys are right up there in the same range as Tom Cruise. And those are all...
I would say Robert Downey Jr. is like the closest to, but he doesn't do like,
Samuel L. Jackson is above all of them.
Samuel L. Jackson makes sense.
Which is crazy.
Morgan
he's been
Freeman,
in a bunch of Marvel
I bet
too.
Morgan Freeman is up there as well. I would imagine.
Samuel L. Jackson has also been in Star Wars. He's been...
Actually, Freeman's not in the top 20. So
That's crazy.
It's just big box office, big movies. And I just don't think we're going to see a series like that in the future.
Probably
again.
not.
So,
No, probably not.
Okay. Let's see here. I've got two. I've got one about Oakmont again, and I've got one about Angel Reese. Which one do you guys want?
Give us Oakmont.
Yeah.
Oakmont. Okay, so I know we talked about Oakmont. We talked about the course being the conversation. Here's what I want to know. I mean, because the course was the conversation. It wasn't about the players. It was more about the players being frustrated. Does the average viewer realize that what they were asked to do would be like asking a professional race car driver that normally drives Ferraris to drive a Pinto or a Buick and drive it the same way they normally drive? Call it what it is. These players are used to playing courses that are perfect, pristine. Yeah. That's what their game plays to. And this course, if you were even a foot off of the fairway, you were screwed, especially with that water. So to me, do you think the PGA should say, you know what? We do not want what happened this weekend to happen for a very long time. We're not going to go back to Oakmont. They've been there like 10 times in 100 and some odd years. Should we skip Oakmont for a while, or should we look for courses that maybe play better on TV?
I think it's good to have at least one of these every year. I don't think it's bad to have one.
In a major, though?
It's for a major, that's where you kind of lose me. But
I mean, that's like playing a Super Bowl in the rain. Do you want a Super Bowl to be in the rain?
Or when they played in like New York in February.
I don't want this argument that we're creating right now to get construed to be like, we don't want hard courses and we don't want a challenge.
Not saying that.
That's not what this is. What this is for what you just said. Do you want a Super Bowl played in the rain? Do you want to, or do you want to see? Do you want to see the best product?
Yeah,
and what we saw was not the best product from the players. You know, in any other sport, it's hey, let's let the players decide the outcome of it.
Yep.
This course decided the outcome of it, and it was whoever can withstand it the longest. And this, I mean, he had to sink a 64-foot putt to now. You know, all he had to do was 2-putt to win. So that. But still, that's the argument that I think we all have together is you want the best product out there. Yeah. The same way you want the best product for a Super Bowl, the same way you want the best product for baseball.
Any sporting event.
With any sport. And to me, it was too hard. There's a difference between having a course like the Masters that is challenging, makes you, think more on certain shots, certain lies, but you still see good, solid golf and good scores. Yeah. This, to me, the course won. The course was...
Well, remember what your mom said, too. The guy that made this course has only made one course in his life.
Really?
This course. And he made it because he thought other courses were too easy. So he went and bought land in the middle of nowhere in Pennsylvania and built this course all these years ago. And now today it's still one of the toughest courses.
Having a course in Pittsburgh is just very strange. Like a major course.
And then the weather affected every single day.
I mean, guys, we would go shoot 150 on that course.
Easy.
More than
that. So
if we even finish.
Yeah, it's just, you want challenging courses because you want to challenge the best players in the world.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, you want the players to dictate who truly wins stuff in any sport. And in my opinion, the course dictated who won this tournament this past weekend.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, I would punt Oakmont for majors. I keep it around because I think I do think you need courses like this throughout the year, just kind of like, just to show that there really is that much of a gap between the average player and the pro players, because even they're able to finish somewhat like near par.
Listen, majors are hard because of the competition too.
Yeah,
the best players in the world are always in those events. Yeah. So they're already hard, even on difficult courses. They just made this extra hard.
Well, and you could say it about like JJ Spawn. There's a reason why the reality of it, there's a reason why he's never won, because his best golf hasn't been able to beat some of the other guys' best golf.
Yeah.
That's what golf is supposed to be. Not, hey, I just need to not suck because the course sucks and everyone else is having problems with it. And it comes down to the last hole where all I have to do is
don't suck.
And
First player to even shoot that though, over 40 on the front nine and win the
he
tournament.
Had five fives in a row on Sunday to start his round off. If that's any other course with any other players with you're done. There's not even a chance. Yeah. So to me, that also just shows like, yeah, it's great. You're able to persevere. You're able to, cap off with a win. Do you deserve it? Yes. Have you worked your ass off? Yes. That's not up for debate or for question. It's let the players decide. And we didn't let the players decide.
Yeah. Yep. Okay.
That's what I think.
There you go. That's it, guys.
That was a good one.
Good job.
That's some good questions. I like that Oakmont one. That final one was
Yeah, it's very interesting, and it caught a lot of attention over the weekend.
Oh, it really did.
It really did.
It really
between
did.
us and between our little ecosystem we have, and then of course on the internet as well.
Yeah, I love it.
But like we mentioned, the AFC South breakdown last week was a good one. We got some good comments on 49ers, on the Cardinals.
I was going to say the people actually agreed with our Cardinals take that they will be, a bit better than the league really is thinking. They're one of the teams that I'll be paying attention to a lot this year, and I hope they're healthy because they've got a lot of fun players. But on to the AFC South. I think first team is the Texans, and I think they they changed a lot in an area where you don't necessarily want a lot of change, which is their offensive line. And so the Texans were really hurt last year, you could say. I mean, they had a lot of injuries. Stroud was dealing with, I'm pretty sure, a shoulder injury, and apparently that is still acting up this offseason. So there's a lot of questions around the Texans. And to have, honestly, your the best team in the division, per se, right now, is sitting at 9.5 wins on the year. And so this division, quite honestly, even more maybe than the NFC West, wide open. Yeah,
it's a pretty weak division. I will say what I do really, really like what the Texans did is their receivers.
They had a really good draft.
The two receivers that they got out of Iowa State, the Jalen Higgins and Jalen Knoll, very good. I think.
Well, they also traded a 7th for Christian Kirk as well, and they needed this because Tank Dell is not. I don't think he'll play at all this year. He shredded his knee.
You still got Nico, and we know how good Nico's been, especially the past couple years.
Oh man, if he can stay healthy, top 10 receiver in the league. Yeah. Definitely.
Their receiver core, though, if it all kind of plans out, I don't think Christian Kirk is terrible either.
He was just hurt. I mean, he's been hurt. He's a good receiver when he's on the field.
Yeah,
and Dalton Schultz is a good tight end.
Yeah,
but the biggest question,
Nick Chubb too.
They're running back tandem now, and Mixon and Chubb I love. But the biggest thing, I saw this all year last year with my team, offensive line is the catalyst. It gets everything going. And so they made some moves. I'm not familiar with their center, Jake Andrews, but they signed 2 guys on the left side. They went and got, I think they're both 1-year deals, Cam Robinson at left tackle and then Laken Tomlinson at guard. I just need to see it. I need to see it, but they're still the best team in the division, I think. Their defense is nasty. They've still got, that pass rush last year was great.
I like their head coach too.
I love D'Amico Ryans. Yeah. And so they've got a lot of guys. And Derek Stingley's one of the best corners in the league. Jalen Petre's a really good nickel. And so they've got players, and their schedule, honestly, I was looking at the AFC South schedule. It's not pretty. I don't know if you have it pulled up right now, but the Texans, for instance, they start at LA and then they have to play Tampa Bay. But then, they go at Jacksonville versus Tennessee next. The division game's always tough. Then at Baltimore, they have Seattle, San Francisco, Denver, and then obviously, Jacksonville, Tennessee, but Buffalo. They play Kansas City, the Chargers. It's not an easy schedule at all. No. And so, honestly, after looking at that, 9 wins sounds like it wins you the division damn near. If all of these teams are playing those guys, it's...
Well, if 9 wins wins you the division, you get a home playoff game.
Which I still think is stupid.
You've played probably a lot of playoff teams with the schedule you have.
Yes.
So it could shake out to be a pretty favorable if they can, win the division
and win some of those games.
You're looking pretty good, as in, hey, we've got a good team that's been tested, that's been through some of these teams that we're going to have to play. Let's go out and play some ball.
Yep. At the same time, though, I don't think it's crazy to say that another team out of this division could win.
Yeah.
Seriously, Texans' schedule's rough. And yeah, that is their first place schedule. So the other teams aren't going to have to play, I would guess, not Buffalo or Kansas City, which is... But we'll see. I think next team...
playing Buffalo and Kansas City in the regular season.
And they're within 2 or 3 weeks of each other as well. Near the end of the year, when both of those teams are, pushing towards the playoffs, you're going to get their best football then. But yeah, they had a good draft. I think they also traded for CJ Gardner-Johnson as well in the secondary. So they've got guys, but offensive line, and I think CJ Stroud staying healthy with his shoulder. I think those are the 2 biggest things. But on to the next team right now, the Colts. I think we were supposed to have AJ on, and he's working a football camp down in Miami right now.
Oh, he's going to be bummed.
Yeah, I know. He had a lot.
Because we haven't talked to him before. Last time we talked to him was
before the draft. I think he had a lot to say. So I will try and do some due diligence for him. But yeah, go ahead and you get it started. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, look, the Colts. I think their biggest question mark every year
is the most important position.
Is the most important position on the football field.
It's not a good recipe.
It's your quarterback. Yeah. You signed Daniel Jones, great, whatever. But Anthony Richardson,
he's shown good football before. Daniel Jones,
the guy that you drafted, top 5,
still one of the youngest guys.
Still one of the youngest. Everything that's come with him, and then you're hurt again.
Yeah,
season's not even started, and in my opinion, your one X factor that you have is running the ball and being physical. You can't do that with a shoulder injury.
No.
And we saw what that did to him last year. So to me, you've now taken away this just pure athletic, strong, built, muscular, looks the part of what you want in a quarterback. And it's gone now to where the reality of it is you can't throw the ball very good, and that's been shown. I don't care how many more times you're going to say, and we're going to say that, no, he can do it. And at some point, if you can't do it, you can't do it. And he's coming into year 3 now? This is his 3rd year?
Yeah.
Getting close to somewhat of a contract year,
hurt
especially for quarterbacks. He's always been hurt. Checked out on his team on 3rd downs, like we kind of joke about.
What I mean by that, like with him being hurt, is he can't develop. You can't develop when you're not on the field.
Yeah.
So it's not a good mix at all. No. And they had another team that I thought had a good draft. They have a good roster, but again,
they do have a good roster.
They have a really good roster, but quarterback is like the biggest.
It just shows that quarterback is.
This is a quarterback league.
Yeah.
It's like you look at their depth chart. Like, I mean, there's not a single hole there. And especially after their offseason that they had. They just signed Charvarius Ward, great corner, probably top 15 in my opinion, maybe even top 10. But safety Cameron Bynum from the Vikings, another dog. And then they went and got, Khalil Herbert as a backup running back. And then Tyler Warren fell to them in the draft. So now they finally have that guy, and they took the Ohio State pass rusher. I'm not even going to try and pronounce his last name, but... I mean, they've got so many. Their linebackers are good too. Their secondary was good before they added that, Ward and Bynum.
Their receiving core is, I think, really good.
Their O-line's always been good for the most part. Yeah. Ever since Luck decided to retire.
They're missing one piece. And unfortunately...
It just sucks that it's the most important position on the field.
Yeah. And this also speaks to why they went and got Daniel Jones, to where they looked at it and they go,
can't trust him.
If we need someone, at least we know Daniel Jones could do what we tell him to do and try to manage the game the best he can.
Yeah.
Because like you said, we've seen flashes of Daniel Jones being
They made the playoffs. The first year that Dable was with the Giants and Daniel Jones was the starter all year, they made the playoffs. So you can't tell me that the talent's not at least a little bit there. It's been shown.
Yeah.
But over the course of an 18-week season has yet to be seen outside of that one time. And the Giants had a really good roster back then. But looking at again, this division's schedule is not pretty how much they're going to be beating up on each other already. It's not. I think it's really not. And so the Colts sitting at 7.5 wins sounds about right. Honestly.
Well, and I don't trust, I know we mentioned the Texans of going in and playing against the Chiefs and the Bills and some of those teams. I don't trust the Colts with their quarterback play to even go into the game going, I'll give them a chance.
No, it's the same thing because, they also played. They play the Chargers. They play Denver. They play Kansas City. They're playing that division. Yeah. So three of those teams, three of those teams, Chargers, Broncos, and Chiefs, I don't think you win any of those games.
Yeah.
And
without good quarterback play.
They also play the AFC North. They play the Steelers and the Ravens and the Bengals and the Browns.
Yeah.
Three of those teams, again, probably losses if your quarterback's not playing good.
Sorry, AJ, I'm tapping out on the Colts.
I know, and it sucks because, like I said, I think AJ would agree. I mean, I've heard it from him that it's their quarterback is what is holding them back, and it sucks. I think it's going to suck, especially this year, because you're going to look at this roster and you're not going to know why that they're playing so bad, why they're playing so bad outside of quarterback. Yeah. That is going to be the only reason, I think. And quite honestly, it's going to be another situation where it's going to be either Richardson's fault or the head coach's fault. And you're going to fire or cut or fire one of them.
Wouldn't
and
it
you're
be
gonna have to
interesting
restart.
though if Daniel Jones came in and actually lit it up in a new program? New
I would
coaches?
love it, and I don't think it's out of the question. I really don't. They also drafted. Granted, this is I'm guessing a kind of developmental guy, but they drafted the Notre Dame quarterback Riley Leonard, who I liked. I liked him. I think he needs to develop a little bit throwing the ball, but that dude's an athlete.
I could see
Straight
it
athlete.
maybe being very similar to the Vikings with Sam Darnold.
Good.
Because Sam Darnold went into a really good roster.
1-year deal, prove it.
Yeah.
With a quarterback.
Daniel Jones could fall under that. Till all of a sudden we're like, hey, this guy's...
Well, he could play. There was a reason he was who he was and why he was drafted.
I will not write off the Colts yet. I won't, just because of, one, how competitive and wide open the division will be. They could very well be the team that ends up squeaking out 8 or 9 wins and, takes the title.
Yeah.
But you got to see it first. I honestly would say that outside of the Texans, this is the most complete roster on that in that division. And so another good one, really. It's a really interesting division to talk about.
It is. And this one, the Jaguars.
We were at the draft when this trade, the big thing that kind of started this whole conversation with them.
Sitting at 7.5 right now.
Also 7.5.
You trade Christian Kirk, like we mentioned.
Yeah.
You cut Evan Ingram. Gabe Davis, I don't think was
their offense is going to look really different. And new head coach, Liam Cohen.
Yeah, I mean, and you just think about kind of what Tampa was for the past couple years on offense.
Oh, they moved the ball.
That's, I would assume, is what the Jaguars are going to try to emulate.
Oh, yeah.
And I don't think Trevor's a bad quarterback.
No, he's not. He hasn't been what people thought he was going to be yet.
When it comes to this division, I think Trevor is the quarterback.
Him and
Stroud are the two that I trust the most within this division.
Right now.
I think Travis Hunter is going to bring a lot of value to that team.
Did you see the comments that their GM said yesterday?
I did not.
So he apparently thinks that Travis Hunter has what it takes to play both sides, both ways the entire time. And he said it will matter. Hold on. He said it will matter it will depend based on game plan. So some weeks he won't play, more offense than defense, or he'll play more defense than offense based on packages. And if they have, I don't know, if they're going up against the Texans, who have like 2 wide receiver ones that you need to worry about, 2 or 3. So I think it makes sense. Do I think he's going to be on the field for every single snap, every game? No. But I think he's going to be utilized both ways all year.
I think he will be. It sounds great. It sounds great.
This is the NFL.
All I'm saying, hold on,
but here, Colorado.
I saw a comment, and you're right. You're damn right. It's not Colorado, but that honestly helps him pace-wise because college football offense is all no huddle.
This is true.
It's all no huddle. They huddle after every single play in the NFL. He honestly gets more chances at a breather in the NFL. Yeah, it's faster pace in between the plays, but you are getting more time to collect yourself.
That's fair.
And if he was able to do it all year at Colorado in that kind of pace, what makes you think he can't do it? I mean, he's got to put on some weight because don't get me wrong, a 240 running back is going to break him right now.
I just think if we see him try to play every snap for the first 5-6 weeks,
I think it would be dumb.
He's gonna get hurt. He's gonna miss 3 or 4 games, and then all of a sudden he'll come back, and then he's not in football shape because he missed, and then it's just going to be this catch up of trying to.
How long was the college season? How many games?
12? Colorado.
I think they played
13 because they played a division championship.
So add another half a season on top of that.
Yeah,
it
sounds good in theory, and
it's a lot.
Do I think he's a spectacular athlete and he can do it? That again, that's not the question. The question is do you want him healthy on one side of the ball, or do you want him? We don't know if he's going to play this week because we need him on both sides.
What
of the ball.
I think happens is because they went and signed another cornerback, Jordan Lewis, but their secondary is bad, and so quite honestly, I do think he plays more defense starting out, and I think he's a more natural corner.
Yeah,
but I think you can still benefit from having him on offense in packages with Brian Thomas Jr. and ETN, and they drafted the Virginia Tech running back, and they still have Tank Bigsby, and they have what's it called? Brendan Strange, which apparently they love at tight end. So I think there's a path to. I think he plays more defense than offense first. Yeah. I think he comes in on big plays for the Jaguars on offense, like third down or red zone plays.
But then at that point, is it not kind of predictable?
That's why I think they have to play him more than we're thinking. And like that's why the only way it works is if he's not a gadget guy. If he's actually a part of both game plans each game.
Yeah.
And I think see it, check and see week 1. Let's see who they play week 1. So the Jaguars open up at, we're loading right now, Carolina. That's a great game to wait and see. I think throw him out there, play him. Let's see how well he can handle playing both sides. Maybe not every snap, but I think that game against Carolina is perfect. Perfect. And I'll be tuning into that, quite honestly. I'll be watching all Sunday because the Bears don't play until Monday night. So
I want to see the Jags, though, actually do well this year because of Trevor
I'm rooting
Lawrence.
for them.
I want to see
like
the
Trevor.
local kid finally have his due. He really has struggled.
Look, we know
how amazing of a player he could be. They've got new coaching in there now.
They do.
Maybe they'll finally figure it out. He's got some receivers.
I was talking about this.
Have a good season.
I was talking about this with AJ though. The offense will be fun. I think they'll score points, but their defense isn't going to stop a damn thing.
Yeah.
Like I'm looking at their roster right now, and it's like you need Travis Hunter to be at corner.
But you also need him on offense.
You need him on offense. So, that's why I think like it's a bad.
It is a bad.
They're a few years away, but I think this is where get Travis Hunter acclimated to playing both ways because I don't think this. Quite honestly, I've got the Jags finishing last in the division just because of their defense. I don't think this is the worst defense in the division, but probably one of the worst defenses in the league. And it's
now to go on top of that to the Titans at 5.5
speaking of
wins.
which, and again, it's just a team that has this whole division has a rough schedule.
Now hold on though. I
like
seriously
Tennessee.
think Tennessee could be very similar to what Washington was last year.
Washington, yeah.
Where all of a sudden it's like this rookie quarterback is really good.
I've been an advocate for him.
And, he's got, I think, some decent playmakers. I'm not sure about the defense.
Though their defense, let's backtrack a little bit. Their defense, they have had some turnover. They've cut, I think they still have Snead, but they ended up cutting Chidobe Awuzie. Their defense was good last year. They were top 10 in a lot of categories.
It was just the offense couldn't do anything.
The offense.
Because we had a different meme for Will Levis every single week.
Exactly.
But no, for real though, I think Cam Ward could have a very similar impact to what we saw Jaden Daniels have last year for the
This is not
Washington.
satire when I say that they have a path to finishing second. I don't think they win the division, but I think it's either the Titans or the Colts that finish second with like 8 or 9 wins. Because again, I look at the roster. It looks good, and I really liked Cam Ward. I like him a lot. And I think he's going to be pretty damn good. They've got a good offensive coach. He came from the Bengals. I think he was their offensive coordinator 2 years ago. Came over here, got good running back tandem. Tony Pollard, Tyjae Spears. I mean, Traylon Burks really hasn't been much, but Calvin Ridley. I mean, they went and got Tyler Lockett as well. So they've got good veteran presences, and they brought in Cam Ward's favorite target from Miami, Restrepo, as an undrafted free agent who holds, I think, every record at Miami receiving-wise, damn near.
And he's been, I've heard reports saying that he's been working with the first team.
Yeah.
It has a lot.
Keep an eye on him for fantasy. I'm just saying.
It has a lot of.
The O-line doesn't look bad, dude. Like, they overpaid the talk of like when we talked about the Steelers left tackle.
Let up all those sacks.
So that's bad, but those other 4 positions are good starters on the O-line. And so realistically, maybe that's why they overpaid for the left tackle, because all the 4 are good. And so you can, I don't want to say you can compensate for him, but
a little bit.
A couple double teams on the left side with Skoronski, who's a really good guard. I see it working. And look, their defensive line was great last year. I think it got better this year. So they're a really interesting team.
Very similar to what the Commanders did last year. They signed some veteran guys to where it was like, why are you doing that? He's old.
You want to know what, dude? Because they finished last year in their division, they've got the easiest schedule. So yeah, they open up at Denver. They've got Los Angeles, the Rams, but the Colts. I think all of those division games are wide open. Like I think they could beat the Texans. I think they could split with all of them, if not sweep one of them. But playing Arizona, which better team, but playing Vegas, New England. These are games that are going to be competitive. And Cleveland, Jacksonville, New Orleans. There's a path to them finishing second. They're like dead ass. There is. And I think 5.5 wins is too low for
Yeah,
them.
5.5 I think is too low.
Too low.
That's a really good bet. If I was looking at this
Over
for
on the
all the
Titans.
teams that we're going to go to,
Over.
I would put the over on that 5.5 on the Titans.
On top of that, they also drafted, I mean, just the offense is going to look really different in general because they drafted the Texas tight end, Gunnar Helm, and then that Elik Iomanor from Stanford, the guy that I think he went up against Travis Hunter.
Mhm.
I'm sure you've seen the tape. He gave him like 200 yards.
Yeah. I know what you're talking about.
And now they play twice a year.
Yeah.
So it's going to look, I think
It's going to look a lot different.
Titans are one of the better rosters in that division, but I think they finished second. And so, I mean, on to our final questions, I'd say, I mean, who wins the division? I think
the Texans are still,
Probably.
they've been the head of that division with your coach, with your defense, with your quarterback. I think you got better on the offense side of the ball with the people you signed. I'm still going the Texans. I don't think it's crazy to say that a coin flip is up for the last 3 spots between the Titans, Jaguars, and Colts.
Yeah.
I wouldn't surprise me, like we just got done saying, if the Titans end up being there because they have the easiest schedule and because
they got better.
This quarterback could be a very similar product to what Jaden Daniels
I really
was.
think Cam Ward's going to be damn good.
So if I had to guess and if I had to put him in a list, this is why this stuff is fun. I'll go Texans at 1. I'm going to say the Titans at 2.
I'm agreeing with you.
I'll go Jaguars at 3 and Colts at 4.
AJ.
I don't trust the quarterback. I think the Colts have the worst quarterbacks out of now. Even that though, I still think Daniel Jones could come in and be of what Sam Darnold did for the Vikings because the Colts do have a good roster. But I seriously, when I say I base stuff off of quarterback because it is a quarterback league, in my opinion, I think the Colts have the worst quarterback out of this whole division, and you see it time and time again. That is just not a good recipe for winning your division or winning games.
No.
So that's why I have the Colts. Now, I could very well eat my words, and Daniel Jones could be great if Richardson doesn't play because of the roster he has. But right now, I'm going Texans. I'm going to say the Titans just because I like their quarterback.
I'm there too.
And I'll go, who did I say?
Jaguars.
I'll go Colts. Jaguars, Colts.
I'm the same as you, except I flipped the Colts and Jaguars. I think the Jaguars defense is going to be just their downfall all year. And I think the Colts have too good of a roster to not at least win 7 games. And so I think realistically, our next question, how many teams make the playoffs? It's only going to be the division winner.
Yeah,
and it has been the case for this division for a while, I think. So, yeah, it's just the Texans making the playoffs. I mean, the best roster, best team, hardest schedule, but they've got the team to go up against it.
They've proven it, too.
And I think, definitely. But Tennessee is the team to watch in that division, and I think a lot better than 5 wins, I think.
Yeah.
Maybe not a lot.
That's a really good bet. To me,
5.5 wins?
5.5 wins for a Texans team who just got a brand new quarterback that are saying generational talent. I like that. I like that bet a lot.
I like them. So,
well, that will wrap up AFC South Division. We hope you guys are enjoying this. Again, comments if we missed some stuff.
Next is the NFC East.
NFC East, that will be fun.
Oh.
But this is, like we said, we're going to do this every single division leading up. It will lead us right up to the Hall of Fame game, I believe, is how we planned it out. So that's going to work great. But if you have any questions, if you want to talk about whether we're crazy to think that, the Colts shouldn't worry about their quarterback because their roster is as good as it is, so they're going to make up for it, I won't agree with you. But if you have an argument, I'll hear it out.
AJ.
AJ's,
he knows.
I think he does too, and it makes him sad on the inside. It does. It really does.
He's where you were a couple of years ago.
I give him credit though. Look, AJ has stuck by the Colts through.
His mom's a Bears fan. I keep trying to get him.
Really?
Oh, his mom's from Chicago. He's a Bulls fan.
I knew that, but I didn't know his. That's funny.
Yep.
Well, anyway, that will wrap it up for episode. What we're on 43. 43. Don't forget, like, subscribe. You can catch the full episode on YouTube and Spotify. And we'll see you guys next time.
Yes, sir. It's been real, guys.